Another conversation over here. Tell me about it. We're spending pretty much all of our allowance on the arcade. But not on the punching game, though. We're not going to play that one. Yeah, so the punching game increases your strength, but we're not going to play that yet. Once we've maxed all of our social stats, we can then do the punching game and other games to increase our persona stats. And yeah, the games that you can play change based on what day of the week is. So, at the moment, we want to pay attention to Fridays... We want to pay attention to Fridays and Tuesdays, because that's when the arcade has the horror game. And that's what we want at the moment, because that increases courage. And this, I believe, would be the first time that we're actually seeing this. So at lunchtime, sometimes characters who you've formed a social link with will come up to you and ask if you're doing anything after school. And what you answer here doesn't actually make any difference. What this really is an indication that that social link is available on that day, because sometimes it's hard to keep track of the schedule. Maybe we should talk to him after school. So basically, every social link that you can potentially, well, most social links you can potentially see that day will come and talk to you, just giving you an idea of what you can do that day. I guess we could go for a jog. But we don't have enough time. So practice is also today. But we're actually going to be seeing Kenji. Now, in Persona 4, agreeing to someone's question at lunchtime would actually give a slight bonus to the number of points you got with them if you chose to actually spend time with them after school, but it does not in this game. So bear in mind, and if you disappoint anyone during the lunch hour, that won't affect their relationships either, so don't worry. And you're saying the same thing. Huh. You're both saying the same thing. So anyway, today, we want to talk to Kenji. He's heading home right now. We're not doing anything. Let's meet with him after school. He said he wanted to tell us about his secret plan. I wonder what it is. Back at the ramen store again. Surprisingly detailed descriptions of ramen here. Yes, why are you asking? Now, this is the first time that what you answer has an effect on how much relationship points you get out of a social link. Now, for this conversation with Kenji, and yeah, for everything, you'll want to check the guide to see which answers give you the most points, because you must always answer what gives you the most points if you want to complete every social link on schedule. So, for this question, you can either answer no or that's a secret. Given Gary Stu's character, I'm going to go with that's a secret. When you have an option for what to say, as in when the guide tells you something or something, it means that there are two options that both give equal points, so you can go with whichever you want, really. We already knew that. Now, here's another important question. This is another one where you can choose either of a few options. You can either say, I like older women, or I like them all. As long as you don't say girls your age, you get the best points with this guy from this question. And so, to keep in character with Gary Stu, I'll say, I like them all. All girls love Gary Stu, and Gary Stu loves all girls. So yeah, that gives you the best points you can get from that question. Oh, he has his eyes on someone, huh? The secret plan, he's gonna ask her out. Oh, and that's why he was keeping it for everyone. It's a teacher. And that's why he seemed disappointed that he was in Miss Toriumi's class and not someone else. Maybe he was hoping to get the class that teacher he has a crush on. If he's there, will he get in trouble? If worse comes to worse, let's just have a story. Say, I didn't have anything to do with this. It was totally him. I did not approve of this at all. Yeah. Teacher-student romances are interesting in Japanese media because the taboo isn't so much the age difference, it's more the social status difference. Teachers are supposed to be above students in the school hierarchy, so having a relationship with someone implies that you're equals, and that's a definite no when it comes to teacher-student relationships. But that was enough to rank us up. We are now Magician Rank 2. We can create stronger personas of the Magician Arcana. But more importantly, Gary Stu has met someone who has an interest in finding a waifu, just like himself. So as you spend time with your friend, your social links get stronger, and we've already got this. Oh right, that explains something else. Sometimes you actually unlock new social links through ones that you already have established, and you might be seeing that kinda soon. You might already have an idea of what that's gonna lead to. Remember someone that we met yesterday? Yeah, think about it for a moment. There were 2 people at that last social link, and we only really had a social link with one of them. Once again, Kenji has to leave for his favourite TV show. And so we head back to the dorm. Now that we've done our first social link conversation that's not an automatic one, I think it's time to explain exactly how social links work in this game. Basically, interactions with a social link character will give you certain amounts of points. Once you have enough points for the next rank up, the link will automatically increase in rank the next time you see that person. When this happens, you'll get a unique conversation. Every social link has 10 unique rank up conversations, which occur when you visit them after getting enough points. During these unique conversations, you'll be presented with dialogue choices at certain points. These dialogue choices are the main way that you'll get social link points in this game. However, this is something that might not be obvious at first. These points are actually going towards the next rank. So, that conversation we just had with Kenji, this is rank 2. But all the points that we gain from giving the right answers, they're going towards the points needed for rank 3. So just bear that in mind. Now, usually one of the options will give you more points than the others, though there are some cases where 2 options give equal points, as is the case for Kenji's first one, where that's a secret or no both give the same, or where none of the options give any points. Also, in the rank 1 and 10 conversations, what you answer does not matter at all. These conversations don't give any points whatsoever, so just give whatever answers you want. So generally, this is how it works. You choose the best option, and you get the maximum amount of points towards your next rank up. However, there's one other major mechanic to this. If you have a persona of the same arcana as that social link with you, now, it just has to be in your persona deck. It doesn't have to be currently equipped. But as long as it's with you, you'll get a 1.5 times multiplier to all of the points that you get from the responses in that link. So for example, a response here that normally gives 5 points will give 7 if we have a magician persona when we're seeing Kenji. This is referred to as a matching persona, and it's absolutely vital in a max social link run. After certain points in particular links, you'll always want to carry a matching persona whenever you see that person. This speeds up the process greatly. Without it, you'd need to see them a lot more times in order to max the link, so be sure to remember the specific points in each social link where you need a matching persona according to the guide, and make sure you always have a matching persona on hand from that point on. Basically, from a certain point on, the guide will always assume that you have a matching persona whenever you see the person, and the matching persona modifier doesn't just apply to conversation choices, it applies to everything that gets you social link points. I'll talk more about other ways to get social link points when we encounter them, but suffice to say that you need to have this matching persona whenever you see the social link. Even something as simple as not having a matching persona when you go to the movies together with a social link character can screw up following the max social link schedule. Trust me, I know. I actually had that happen to me once. So, be sure to always see them with a matching persona after the point where the guide recommends it. So that's the basic idea. You get points towards your next rank up, and you'll get a unique conversation and a rank increase the next time you see them. But what happens if you don't have enough points for a rank up and you try and see the social link? Well, in that case, you'll get what's referred to as a spend time conversation. You'll just get generic lines saying, you spend time with character name, and you'll gain 10 points towards your next rank, or 15 if you have a matching persona. These spend time conversations are unavoidable at certain points, but if you're following the max social link guide and you get a spend time conversation at a point where the guide says you should have got a rank up, you know you must have done something wrong. So that's usually your biggest indication that you've messed up somewhere. Yeah, following the max social link guide can be kind of tricky, but that's why you keep earlier save files. And like I said, there are other ways to gain social link points besides directly meeting up with the person, but I'll talk about all of those later. For now though, I want to just briefly touch on the dark side of social links. And that's what happens if you're not too nice to your friends or neglect them. This causes the social link to go reverse, and there are three main ways to reverse a social link. The first is if you don't see them for 90 days for guys or 60 days for girls. Now, there is an extra restriction here when it comes to the girls, but I'll talk about that later on. It's not that relevant now. The second, and probably by far the easiest way to reverse a social link, is to... Well, first I should say that sometimes your social links will call you up at night and ask to hang out on Sunday. One of the easiest ways to reverse a link is to agree to meet them and don't show up. This will cause the link to go reverse, so be especially careful of double booking on people. Because of this, we need to be very careful when we accept phone calls from social links, so that is kind of complicated sometimes, and once again, I'll get to that once we actually start getting phone calls. The third is that there are some social links, and this varies, only certain ones have this, where picking certain incredibly mean dialogue options can reverse the link right there. It's usually obvious which ones will do this, but sometimes it can be a bit of a guide, dang it. So, as long as you're following the max social links guide as to what responses you say, you should never need to worry about this. If you're playing blind, you'll need to be careful though. At some point, the social link does warn you about this. It might say something like, this is a very delicate situation, you'll need to be careful what you say, but at other times there's no real warning. Now, if a social link is reversed, you won't be able to get any points towards it until you've met up with that person and patched things up. You generally have about a month's window to do this, and if you don't, the social link will break entirely. And if this happens, you won't be able to summon any personas of that arcana. This is very, very crippling, and you really, really, really don't want this to happen. Thankfully, if you follow the max social links guide, you should never have to worry about a reversed or broken link ever. In fact, because I did that on my first playthrough, I've never even seen what a reversed or broken link looks like. Unfortunately, this means that if you do get a reversed or broken link, I can't help you when it comes to what responses to say to repair the relationship, because I've never had it happen to me. There is a way to repair a reversed relationship by using the relationship fortune at the shrine. This won't work though if you're actually dating someone, so bear that in mind. Anyway, these are the basic principles of social linking. Say the right responses, bring a matching persona, and above all, don't double book on someone and then stand them up. They won't like that at all. So, back to the action.
Oh, hey!
Hey, Yukari. Yes we have. Once again, I'm sorry, Yukari, but we can't do that. We have a busy schedule of karaoke to maintain. You keep making me feel bad about it, but we have a busy social schedule to attend to. We only have time for Tartarus on Saturdays. Yeah, don't take Tartarus lightly. Yeah, some of them have different effects. That's what the plus unknown effects attribute is for. Yeah, I've explained this before. Your personas have weaknesses, not you. Characters take on the attributes of their personas. Well, then again, your persona is you, so technically you do have weaknesses. So, Yukari is weak against electricity, but strong against wind. Yeah, personas tend not to learn skills of elements that they're weak to, but some of them can learn skills that help them cover their weaknesses. This means if multiple party members get sick, it can spread between them. You won't need to worry about sickness unless you deliberately fight a lot of battles when you're tired, though. Let's see what's on TV tonight. Huh. Strange animal from overseas. Hey, awesome Australian animal! Represent! Yeah, platypuses are weird. Very, very weird. Male ones are deadly poisonous, and, yeah, seriously, look up platypuses. They are a very, very strange animal. Very strange. People wish there'd be a platypus Pokemon. Psyduck is technically kinda one, but it's not poisonous. Now, I just saved there, and we might actually need to do this here, because normally I want to get tired when studying. Tonight might not be a good night for that to happen. If it does, there's a chance I might be able to salvage it, but tomorrow is a Tartarus day, and we don't want to be tired before a Tartarus day. So, let's head to Polonium Mall for our, yeah, our nightly boost to courage, but tonight it's not karaoke. Tonight it's the game center. However, we're a little bit short of 3,000 yen, so we're gonna have to sell things. Now, oh, who's this? Oh no. Shadows got to them. This is why going to Tartarus is so important. We're fighting to stop that, but for now... Now we need to sell some stuff here. Speaking of Tartarus, if you got lucky during the tutorial, you might have actually found some more money in the chests, and that really, really helped. If you didn't, like me, you will have to sell some things. Thankfully, Snuff Souls sell for a lot of money. So, also, if, again, as a last resort, you can sell your portable player if you want, it is pretty much useless, but for now, I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to sell one Snuff Soul. We need 700, so I'm going to sell one Snuff Soul. These are kind of rare, but I can afford to sell one, and I don't want to sell the Revival Bead, so I'm going to have to sell another Snuff Soul. We'll get more of these. Now that we have 3,000, we can play the arcade. We'll have more control over what we get in Tartarus soon, but for now you might need to sell a couple of things if you don't get lucky with the chest on the tutorial. So, let's stay here. Horror House is available again, and yeah, that's why I need so much money. You want to make sure that you always play Horror House the 2 times per week that it's available, because that's vital to maxing out your courage. Speaking of which, our courage has changed from timid to ordinary. Da 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 da! Yeah, I gave a fanfare to becoming ordinary, but our efforts to maxing out courage have certainly paid off. It's risen 1 level, only in the first week of interactivity. I'm going to try and study. If we get tired, there is something that might work. But if it doesn't, I'm going to have to reload the save. Of course, that is assuming this actually does make us tired. So, study, study, study. Academics. Okay, we didn't get tired. Usually I get tired at some point during the first week. Again, it is random, so you might want to save and reset in one of the earlier days until you get tired, because it does help with maxing out courage. But for now, not being tired going into a Tartarus day is a good thing. Because today is a Tartarus day, but first it's a social link day. And thankfully the game hints you towards the social link that's available now, the bookstore. They're reopening. Finally finished that termite extermination. And they'll tell you where to find it. I already showed you where to find this earlier, though. We are lampshading the fact that we are expositing the location of places for the player, even though we live here. And thus should logically know where everything is. No lunch hour visits today, just after school time. And the game tells you the bookstore's reopening. That's probably important. Now, on days like this, when you don't need to do anything at school... Alright, he's telling us about the things we can do here, but I already showed most of those in an earlier video. Talking to this guy is going to open up the map. This is convenient when, like I said, you don't have anything to do at school today, so we want to head on over to Iwatodai Station. That's near where the bookstore is. And here we are. We just need to cross the street here. Now, what are you doing? Oh, hey, Kenji! Yeah, I'm not thinking of stealing one of those bicycles. As you can see, you met Kenji there, but you didn't have the option to do a social link with him today. That's because he's not available. Characters are only available on specific days, so that's an indication that Kenji is not available today. It's a lot of work, but it definitely pays off. Yeah, some people might want to do that, get the Persona benefits without actually making friends and sitting through all the social link scenes. Speaking of which, we're about to sit through a social link scene. Let's enter Bookworms Use Books, now that it's actually open. And that music can only mean one thing. We've seen the old man and woman before, just walking around town. I think this is a bookstore, not a fish store. Persimmon tree, huh? Planted beside a walkway. Huh. That's strange. This music indicates a social link and yet nothing happens. So, some social links require you to do a bit of a mini side quest before you can actually start them. This is one of them. So we need to go back to the school. Now, remember when I said that there was a tree at school that might be important later? I think you know where this is going. We need to head back. Now, you should remember where to find the tree, but in case you don't, I'll take you there just this once. So, up the school entrance. Back inside, also demonstrating that you can return to school after leaving and everything will be fine. Head this way. Through this corridor. We can't do anything with these rooms yet. Round the corner. Into this area. And look at that tree there. Yeah, the female student thinks this tree is special. Let's check it out. Well, there are no other trees we can examine in the school, so this is obviously the persimmon tree they were talking about. We found a leaf. We've got a persimmon leaf. Now we need to go back. I actually think it might be faster just to head out of school ourselves. We'd have to go up the stairs to see that student who can take us to the map, so I think just going this way is going to be a little bit... maybe around the same time. Actually, I underestimated how long this hall was. Might have actually been quicker to talk to the student. Oh well. Long story short, we need to go back to the old couple, so I'll see you when I get there. With our persimmon leaf in hand, we're back to the bookstore. So let's see if we can get a response out of the old couple now. Yeah, you have to actually be persistent to initiate some social links, as you'll see later. But he recognizes the leaf. Yeah, let's show it to him. They seem to have been familiar with that tree before it grew. Interesting. I guess that's right. Huh. Yeah, that's a sad thing sometimes. I have elderly relatives, I know about this. You just can't really take them to the kinds of places you used to be able to. Oh no, everyone's making puns. So, this is Bunkichi and his wife Mitsuko. You don't actually get a surname for these two. So, his name is Gary Sugilus, unfortunately. Okay, I can't really get my reaction to that. The first time that I played this game, the Chan honorific caught me completely off guard. The first time I played, I named my protagonist something kind of jokey, and having a Chan added to the end, I was rolling on the floor laughing for about 5 minutes. Yeah, in this case, it's pretty funny too, but yeah, my first playthrough this really got me. But they seem happy that we talked about the persimmon tree. And a mysterious voice rings in our head. That means... I think you know the drill by now. We've got a new social link. This time, it's the Hierophant Arcana. The Hierophant represents education, authority, obedience to the rules, conservatism, and the relationship with the divine. And while it's not that obvious, it's actually the male counterpart to the Priestess Arcana. It's also called the Pope in some tarot decks. Characters related to the Hierophant Arcana in the Persona series tend to be older than the protagonist and usually take on some kind of a mentor role towards them. They also tend to be obsessed with the past, usually one particular tragic event in the past that they constantly focus on. The Hierophant's social link in this game is represented by Bunkichi and Mitsuko, the elderly couple who run the bookstore, and they're probably one of the most flexible social links because they're available on every day except Sundays. They also don't require you to have a matching persona until rank 5, and that's a good thing because the matching persona of the lowest level for Hierophant requires you to fuse away Orpheus. And doing that before a certain point in the game can... well, let's just say it's a little better to wait for that until later. For now, though, we don't have to worry too much. Personas of the Hierophant Arcana, mythologically they have a very obvious theme to them. They're usually either figures associated with wisdom, or mythological figures who can see into the past or the future. This does fit with the Arcana's themes, but statistically, the personas of this arcana kind of vary wildly, and it's kind of hard to pin down a trait they all seem to share. Basically, this is another one of those balanced arcanas. There's a wide variety of different personas available here that all pretty much do different things, from physical attackers, magical attackers, defensive specialists. Hierophant can pretty much go any way it wants, really. Now, there is a party member whose persona is of the Hierophant Arcana, but we haven't met them yet, so I won't discuss them. But let's just say they do fit with the themes of this Arcana. We can't quite create Hierophant personas just yet, but we will be able to soon enough. And this is important to know, they're open every day except Sunday. So we'll be able to visit them quite often. But tonight is the one night of the week where neither karaoke nor talking to some old people. Where have you been? Anyway, tonight is the one night where neither karaoke nor the game arcade are open. That means that tonight is a free night for Tartarus exploration. Well, we're going to be training tonight, and you might be freaking out for a bit. Wait a minute, we're supposed to explore Tartarus tonight, but why is Mitsuru not there? Help, I've done something wrong. No, we haven't. No, it's not a good way to explore Tartarus, trust me. It's a good way of getting yourselves killed. Exactly. Once you get very over-leveled, weak enemies will run away from you. That's really good. I love it when RPGs do that. It makes it less annoying to go around early game areas when you're high level. Anyway, let's check the TV. I guess people are choosing to go overseas a lot. What is a popular vacation choice? Airports filled with air travelers. Oh, Hawaii. That's pretty normal. Anyway, remember what I said earlier on about the fact that if you can't find people downstairs, they might be in the lounge on the first floor. Today's one of those times. So look, there's some people here. Hi, Yukari. Mitsuru's in the meeting room. And it's okay to go to Tartarus tonight. That's good because we need to. Ugh. Yeah, I hate being tired too. Yeah, you don't hit as hard, you're... You don't hit as hard, and you actually get critical more easily as well, so that's really bad. Now, Mitsuru is in the meeting room, so if we go upstairs here... The meeting room is through here. This is the first time we've actually been able to access it ourselves. There's also this console. This console is going to be relevant for something later, but not quite now. And hey, there's Mitsuru looking all classy on that chair. And we can go to Tartarus tonight, which is what we will be doing. But I'm going to be splitting Tartarus episodes into their own thing, because we only have one visit to Tartarus per week, so we need to make sure to get as much out of it as possible. And there are a lot of things that we need to get done on this first visit to Tartarus. We're going to be very busy, so I'll see you for that in the next part.